Kadosh. Yeah. We are on Beki'im Halacha 6, page 209, the preface to breaking bread. Okay, this is day 88. Okay, this is the preface to B'tziyat Tapat, which is Kuf Samach Zayin 167. So let's do the preface, and we're going to start. This siman deals with the act of saying Hamotzi over bread and breaking the bread to begin a meal. This marks the beginning of our study of the blessings recited over food and beverages, and therefore this siman includes many general halachot that apply to all these blessings, not only to Hamotzi. Meaning, since it's just in general, so we're going to speak about a lot of things, not only just Hamotzi. For example, in the beginning of Halacha 18, we're going to speak of the rules of someone who interrupts by speaking after making a beracha before eating, right? So we're going to have the halachot of hefsek, yeah? There's also hefsek in shiur, yeah? So he says, it also deals with the rules regarding one person, right? Reciting the beracha on behalf of other people, right? So he says, many halachot apply to the blessing of Hamotzi only, since bread is considered the most important food. In fact, the person who says a beracha, right, of the Hamotzi on behalf of a group is automatically eligible for further honor, as demonstrated here, beginning with halakha number 37. Meaning, usually the one that is given the Hamotzi, he continues getting more kibudim, because he also gets the first one to serve, because of the kibudim that obviously he got for doing Hamotzi. Okay? Now we're going to continue with Hamotzi Lechem Min Ha'aretz. Yeah, so it says like this: with this beracha, we praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu for bringing forth the bread from the land. Rabbi David Abraham pointed out that we say lechem, bread, and not dagan or tivu'ah. Okay? Although it is true that bread has a more elevated status than grain, that does not explain the text of the blessing. After all, right, when grapes are made into wine, their status is elevated as well. And yet the blessing for wine is borei peri gefen without mentioning wine. If so, the blessing of bread should be borei peri hachita. Correct? Meaning, what happened right now? You just went and you made the bread as is more elevated than the grain. So then again, it should also change the beracha as well. Just like by wine, it comes from the gefen. So you say borei peri gefen. So therefore the same thing, right? You should say borei peri hachita. Rabbeinu David came, right? This is David Budaham, yeah? So he says, he cites Rav Asher Milunil, Torchot Chaim. Okay, this is the Rosh Milunil, who explained that our sages chose the words for the blessing since they match those of the pasuk, right, which says, right, Leotzi Lechem Min Ha'aretz. When do we say that? Leotzi Lechem Min Ha'aretz v'yayin. When do we say that?
No.
Hi, well, when do we say that pasuk?
I don't say that.
You don't say that pasuk. Now I understand about the tefillin. Exactly. Tehillim, Kuf Dalet. When do we say that? Barechi nafshi. You don't say that Tehillim. You just said it Friday night and Shabbat on Sunday, Motzei Shabbat on Sunday morning. You don't say that the Tehillim. Iowa, these guys, I'm going to have to teach them Aleph Bet. להוציא לחם מן הארץ ויין, ישמח לב אבנוש, להצהיל פנים משמן, להוציא לחם מן הארץ. So, that one, yes. Okay. Yeah, likewise, right? They say quit before you get further behind. Yeah, so he says, likewise. He comes and he says, the beracha said on fruits of the ground is based upon the pasuk in Devarim. Yeah, the pasuk in Devarim says, right, I've brought the first of the Pri Adama. Right? Eveti et reshit peri adama. So since I brought the reshit peri adama, so therefore since it says that in Devarim, right? And Mordechai loves Devarim so much. So for what happened? So we instituted the beracha based upon, right, the lashon of the pasuk. That's what we're doing. The Bach suggested. So that was Rabbi David Budaham. Okay?
The real Rabbi David.
Yes. Yeah. So he comes and he says the Bach suggested, right? It's also in Gruzini. It's also in Georgia over there. Yeah, the Bach suggested that the blessing of Hamotzi, yeah, is based upon our sage's prophecy. The land of Israel will in the future produce loaves of bread and sheets of fine material. For this reason, the blessing uses the word ha'aretz and not ha'adama. Right? The word ha'aretz is a reference to Eretz Israel. So when you say Hamotzi Lechem Min Ha'aretz, ha'aretz is Eretz Israel. That's why whenever we say the aretz. So aretz is Eretz Israel. That's why we didn't say Hamotzi Lechem Min Ha'adama. No. Hamotzi Lechem Min Ha'aretz, because everything has to do with the land flowing. Eretz HaKedosha.
The land is going to produce breads.
Breads and sheets of fine material. So he says, right? They're going to produce bread, not grain. So imagine, you're not going to get wheat coming up. You're going to get mamash, how do you go, halachot? Yeah? So he says, this also explains why the blessing uses, I missed something. This also explains why the blessing, uses, right, the word hamotzi and not mosi. Why does it say hamotzi and not motzi? Right? Motzi implies past tense, whereas hamotzi is in perfect tense, implying both past and future. As we are taught in berachot, when we recite the blessing, we praise the Kadosh Baruch Hu for having provided the bread we are eating today for the future miracle of ready-to-eat bread, right, growing in the land of Eretz Yisrael. So we're going to start Siman Kuf.
You need.
Yes.
איפה זה?
Samech Zayin.
צרפת.
Surfside.
דרום צרפת.
Very nice. Yeah. לאחר שנטל ידיו. Yeah. קוף סמך זין. קוף סמך זין סעיף א'. לאחר שנטל ידיו לאכילה ורוצה לברך על הלחם ולאכול, יש לבצוע בפת במקום שנאפה היטב. This sounds like a very interesting halacha, right? When you're going to come and you're going to do a motzi, you first have to slice or break the loaf where it's thoroughly baked. Why? Lichvod the beracha. Because that gives kavod to the beracha. You come and you do it on a place which is the best baked. Velo yivatza bimkom shenisraf apad. But don't do it in the place where it's saruf. Yeah, don't do it in the place where it's going to be burnt. Okay, so let's see the footnote.
Why?
That's what he said. It should be the part where it's thoroughly baked. 166. Let's see. The Talmud brings down the Menashe, king of Yehuda, appeared to Rav Ashi in a dream. You remember we spoke about this. You remember Rav Ashi came and he started speaking about Menashe, that he doesn't have chelek olam haba. And according to, because they spoke about kings, that who do they get chelek olam haba or not? And according to the Zohar HaKadosh, actually, right? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now he wakes up. Yeah. So he comes and he says over there that Menashe was the teacher of Baalei Teshuvah. Yeah, because even though the Gemara says about that not without Olam Haba, but he was the teacher of Baalei Teshuvah, which means that Rav Ashi he did Teshuvah Shlema. So Menashe came to Rav Ashi in a dream. You remember we learned this Gemara. You opened up the Gemara. Somebody opened up the Gemara, right? No, it was Philip. So he came and he said like this. He says, right, the Menashe came to the king of Yehuda, and he appeared to Rav Ashi. Right, Menashe, king of Yehuda, came to Rav Ashi in a dream, and he taught him that somebody has to break the bread in the place where it's mamash, like it became the best baked. So Rashi explained that this means the first cut of loaf anywhere around its edges, but not in the center. Meaning, don't cut the bread in the middle of the bread. Do it at the edges. Why? The edges is the most baked. So he says over here like this. This is likewise the ruling of Maran in the Shulchan Aruch. The Ramah ruled that one should slice in the edge of the loaf so that both the top and the bottom are included. So do it if you do it on the side, so it's going to get both the top and the bottom. This is because one opinion among the Rishonim requires one to first slice from the loaf's top bread, and the other one says on the bottom. So if you do it on the edge, you fulfill both opinions, right? If you're doing it on the edge, you get both top and the bottom. So if you'd say the chuva everyone.
Or you get the middle.
No, but not in the middle of the bread, at the end of the bread, at the edge of the bread, but you're cutting on the edge, but you don't do it on the top or on the bottom. You do it in the edge, on the side, because by doing on the side, you get also the top and also the bottom.
Like a sandwich.
This is the loaf. I've got the loaf here. I shouldn't cut it in the middle of the loaf. Cut it on the edge. But when you're doing it, don't do it here, because if you do it here, it's the top. If you do it over here, it's the bottom. Do it on the edge, you get both, top and bottom. Capish? Yofi. So now he comes and he says there's a beautiful halachah discussed at length and concluded. This is an issue according to the Ramah, but according to Maran, one needs to slice the loaf on the side that is most thoroughly baked, whether it's on the top, bottom, or side. It doesn't matter. Meaning, according to Maran, whatever's baked more. If it's baked more on the top, more on the bottom, because it's more crusty on the bottom. If it's on the side, whichever one it is. According to the Ramah, always do it on the side, because by doing it on the side, you get both top and the bottom. As we just said, since some people say you should do it on the top, and some people say you do it on the bottom, so if you do it on the side, you get both of 2 for 1. Breaking the sliced bread. If someone says a motzi over sliced bread, right, the rule is the same. One should break the bread where it's most thoroughly baked and crusty, right? So he says, meaning don't take it from the middle, right? So he says, the Mishabra ruled that when a motzi is over a half of a loaf, it's permissible to take the first slice from the sliced end, as long as that slice includes both the section of the top and the bottom. It's not necessary to slice from the other end. Once again, this applies according to the ruling of the Ramah, but according to Maran, wherever it's most baked. This likewise, the halakha brura, the Kaf HaChaim Sofer, however, ruled that in this case, one must take a slice from the end that has not yet been cut, and one should include the top and the bottom. Okay, so that means this is including the Ramah. So one more time. I've got now a sliced bread, meaning, let's say I've got a full loaf and I cut it in half. Now you're going, it's not Shabbat or whatever it is. Now you only have this bread. You're going to make a motzi on this bread. So now where can I cut it? Can I cut it where it was sliced? Or do I have to cut it where it's not sliced? On the part where it's whole, on the end. So according to the halakha brura, you could cut it here where it's sliced. There's no problems. According to the kavachim, no. You have to cut it where it was not sliced, on this edge, right? And you're going to do it on the side in order to include the top and the bottom. Okay. What about pizza and pita? You got a pizza. Where are you gonna start doing hamotzi in the pizza, right? Or for example, right, the pita. Yeah, where are you gonna do it on the pita? Pita's all the same, no? Yeah, it's all the same pita. So he says, when eating a pita bread, one should break it where it has been browned the most in baking. Yeah, so he says some pita breads appear to be evenly baked all over, and in such a case, wherever you choose, whenever, right, when you're saying hamotzi over a pizza, it seems it's best to break the edge where it's the crust, where it's crusty, right, and well baked, okay, and not at the center or whatever. So basically, you're going to make hamotzi, and you're going to take from the crust of the pizza, okay. Until here we're clear, yeah. Go teach that to your boys to tell people. Reason for this halakha, yeah. So he comes and he says like this, yeah. He comes and he says like this, yarot dvash, yeah. You know yarot dvash is yarot dvash, yeah. Yarot dvash, Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz. Yeah, Rabbi Yonatan Eibishitz, he came and he explained, according to the Kabbalah, that the reason one should break the bread where it's most thoroughly baked is because the fire burns away all evil influences from the dough. Yeah, so basically the fire came and it burnt away all of the right evil energy.
From here we learn that there are those halachot that are not really much baked, that they needed more time to be in the oven, is no good. It is good.
Before the sin of eating of etzadat, man's food did not need to be cooked at all. The world was then on a level equal to the world of the future when Eretz Yisrael will produce ready-to-eat loaves of bread. Right, that's what we said. In the future, we're going to have loaves coming out of Eretz Yisrael. The serpent, a creature based upon the element of soil, succeeded in inserting an impure spirit into the soil. Therefore, raw foods all are damaging, right, to one's health to one degree or another. Right, that's why they say you shouldn't eat anything raw. Right, you have to cook it. So he says, and that's why they tell you, they give you a warning. Right, they give you all the warnings. Right, as the Rambam wrote in Hechal Deot, some foods contain so much of the serpent's venom that they entirely are unedible unless they've been cooked. Fire is the antithesis of the element of soil, and therefore the fire is used in cooking or baking expels the influence of the Satan. When dough, right? Why do you think Gehinam is all full of fire?
To burn all
burn away all of that. Yeah, to burn away all of it. When dough is placed right in an oven, right, the fire begins this cleansing action on the side where it's most well baked in the end. That side of the loaf was purged of the spiritual venom first, and is the first to absorb the sanctity. Therefore, when we make the beracha of hamotzi, it's fitting to slice that side of the loaf first. Although this explanation fits in the best according to the opinion of the Ramah, it nevertheless can explain the halachas according to Manan as well. The side of the bread that is most thoroughly baked is the side from which the evil influences have been purged completely, making it the ideal spot over which to say the beracha.